We have major developing news this morning as the plug may be pulled on the fall college football season at some point soon. More discussions being held today after the commissioners of the Power 5 conferences held an emergency meeting yesterday to discuss the possibility of canceling or postponing the fall sports season. We've been talking about it a lot this morning, and Adam Schefter, our NFL insider extraordinaire, has something that I think NFL fans, all sports fans, will find a very interesting part of this story. Schefter, go.
Well, Green, I think the NFL is sitting back and waiting to see how this all unfolds in college football. I think there has been some thought given to the idea that if college football goes away, and nobody wants that to happen, but if it does, the NFL then, after I think baseball wraps up in late October and the NBA in mid-October in hockey and early October in the presidential election, there would be a span there where there would be nothing else on the sports calendar but the NFL. The NFL already controls the sports calendar, but it's possible it could move even more games to Saturday. Now, there is a Sports Broadcast Act that was brought into place that will prevent Friday night games mid and early in the season. But there are exceptions that are made to that act. In 2005, when Hurricane Wilma hit Florida, they moved up the Dolphins-Chiefs game to a Friday night. We're living through a global pandemic. And so this potentially could be an exception. We'll see how the league views that. But I think there's always the possibility that the league could flex some of its games and, again, ask teams to prepare on short notice. They do it for the playoffs. Teams wrap up on a Sunday, and then they schedule games for Saturday and Sunday the next week. No reason the league couldn't move some games to Saturday afternoon, Saturday night prime time, and take an even bigger slice of the sports calendar pie.
It's an incredibly important point, and again, one that I think all fans will find interesting. The possibility, if there is no college football, that those windows, if you will, on television could be filled. And you brought the point up earlier, Schefter. There aren't fans traveling to these games. There aren't fans going to these games for the most part. So it's not really negatively impacting anyone unless it negatively impacts the players. Booger, is there any problem with that from a player's standpoint, the NFL possibly moving games even to Fridays?
No, not at all, Greeny. And I understand, we've been disgusted with Thursday night football, saying that the amount of rest that players get hasn't been adequate enough. But I get it. Usually teams only have to play one Thursday night game. If you put games on a Friday night or Saturday night, and I know ahead of time and I can plan out my week and I know exactly what I'm doing and when I have to do X, Y, Z to prepare for that game, I think it'll be great. Players love standalone games. Players love to be the only one on TV. That way everyone around the country is watching on Monday or Thursday or Saturday, Greeny. So other than maybe a day or two lack of rest, I can't think of any negative thing that would really deter the NFL from doing that if there's no college football season.
Dan, you'll be hosting NFL Live for us this year. You ready for Friday night NFL action?
Greeny, give me 7 days a week. I would say this. How does this impact testing, right? Because there's a protocol that the NFL and its players are following. Testing, if there is a positive test, what is the time frame? How many negative tests are needed? How long does a person need to quarantine? Would that be affected, right? Would that be affected if a game goes from Sunday to Friday night? Would I have to lose a player that's not allowed to play in that Friday night game and he would have been able to play on a Sunday? That would be the only thing that I'd be super interested in. How are the mechanics of that protocol-wise for the NFL?
Yeah, there's a lot to consider here. But again, the possibility, and Schefter is raising it, and it's worth keeping a close eye on, that if indeed there are all these vacancies in television schedules, there are very few things preventing the NFL from moving into them. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.